Ansel Adams once wrote, "You don't take a photograph, you make it." Now, I've taken my fair share of photos when I've woken up to an electric sunrise or stumbled upon a bounding deer as I made my way up a hidden canyon. But my favorite images are usually the ones where I was far more deliberate in their execution. Sure, I may share them on social media or view them on a tiny phone, but the images I'm really proud of, I like to print. To pull an idea from thin air and print an image I can hold and share with others is at the very heart of why I like to create in the first place. And as a photographer, printing is the ultimate expression of my art. My buddy and fellow photographer Dave and I had the idea of creating a series of images about the American cowboy. We had several brainstorming sessions where we designed 3 distinct images we would print for a small art installation. I called on a friend from the movie business to help me scout out some possible locations in Utah. Roger has a terrific eye for composition and a keen sense for possibilities as well as problems that could arise on any given shoot. Dave and I had imagined a panoramic campfire scene, so we found a pair of bluffs we liked for a backdrop. Using Google Earth, Roger was able to give me a rough idea of what the lighting would look like and how the shadows would fall across the bluffs on the evening of our shoot date. Next, I stopped in to see a genuine cowboy to recruit him for our project. Fenton is a legend in the film business and has been a stuntman, actor, and animal wrangler for countless movies over the years. He has an extensive collection of authentic props and wardrobe, so we took some time to determine a variety of looks that would be appropriate for the time period we had discussed. He introduced me to Lady and Duchess, a mother and daughter pair, and as I imagined these graceful Tennessee walkers on set, I felt like things were really coming together. I enjoy this kind of pre-planning and preparation for a shoot, and collaborating with talented people makes it all the more enjoyable. I couldn't wait to pack the gear and head out with my crew to the incomparable desert landscapes of southern Utah. It was a breezy but warm sunny day near Dead Horse Point, and after we got all the gear on location, everyone went about their various duties preparing for the shoot that evening. We wanted a portrait of the cowboy, a portrait of the horses, and then a panoramic image of the cowboy at his camp in the evening. And since this one required the most setup, we prepared for that shot first. We tethered the camera to a laptop so we could closely monitor for focus and exposure. We shot with the Canon R5 mirrorless camera and the Canon 50mm tilt-shift lens, so we could create a series of 3 images from left to right and stitch them together for the final panorama. Locking the camera down, we took some test shots to finalize our composition. Fenton got into character and truly became the cowboy I had seen in my mind. We had an amazing crew, and it was wonderful to see everyone working together to create something we had only imagined a few weeks before. And when we felt like we had a little breathing room, we broke away with a second camera to shoot some portraits. Using a simple setup with a small softbox and a rim light, we shot a variety of poses using the bluffs as a backdrop. Soon, the natural rock formation worked to shield our character from the harsh sun, and we were better able to control the intensity and the direction of light falling on the cowboy's face. As the sun continued to drop, some clouds rolled in and we began again to prepare for the campfire scene. Everybody got into position as we waited the final few moments before shoot time. The set was dressed, and we had determined the best position for the cowboy. Thankfully, the wind began to calm, but my heart started to race as I knew we would only have about a 15-minute window when the lighting would be just right. We began to shoot for the background as the setting sun raked across the distant bluffs. We then shot for the foreground using strobes to light the rocks, saddle, and cowboy. And finally, as the sun disappeared over the horizon, we shot for the midground using orange filters to bathe the tree and the horses with warm firelight. After an amazing shoot day, the work of post-production begins. I started by selecting the best shots for the background and stitching them together in Lightroom, where I made basic adjustments to color, shadows, and highlights. I repeated this process for the fore and midgrounds, making sure that each layer would blend well together in the final image. Next, I scoured the images for the best takes of individual elements such as the lantern, the cowboy's various features, and the horses. As it turned out, the placement of the horses wasn't really working well for the composition. We had placed them to the right of the tree in order to keep them away from the fire, and in the end it threw the rest of the image out of balance, so I met with Fenton again to reshoot them. It worked out because on our original shoot we had also run out of time to shoot the horses' portraits, so I took those as well and then used Photoshop to place an image of the bluffs behind them. Reinserting an image of the horses to the left of the tree and behind the bushes felt much better, and for days I layered and masked the different elements together, and still I felt like something was missing from our story of this lone cowboy stopping for the night somewhere in the great Southwest. I wanted one more element to complete the image, and Dave suggested a rattlesnake. That was an excellent idea, I thought. I finished off with a slight canvas texture and titled this image, Campfire Standoff. I get excited when I think about printing my artwork. Dave and I had worked hard to get to this point, and we wanted a printer that would faithfully reproduce our images in both color and resolution. The Canon imagePROGRAF series was the best choice we could make to help us realize our vision. We were able to make adjustments directly in Photoshop, and the interface was extremely easy to use, yet we felt like we had extensive control over the final results. The Canon imagePROGRAF PRO-1000 looks great in my office. It's not too big, yet it does make large prints and will print up to 17 inches wide, which is a great size for what we wanted to do. As we watched our prints being created, it was like watching our imaginations come to life. The images were so clean and crisp, and the colors looked exactly the way I had seen them on my computer. I couldn't wait to show them to someone else. I have a friend who loves Southwestern artwork. Melinda's father was a bit of a cowboy at heart, and after we had our prints mounted and framed, they looked amazing hanging in her living room. Campfire Standoff has such a great painterly quality, it fit right in with all of her other amazing art pieces. We enjoyed the rich detail and color of each print, and the consistency between the three images made for a wonderful series that simply belonged together. And this is the part I really look forward to. After having such an amazing experience working with so many talented and devoted people, I think the part I cherish the most is being able to share a little part of me with someone else. To truly make a photograph and to see a bit of my imagination presented in such a beautiful and meaningful way is an effort I will always strive for and one I will always enjoy.